Welcome to Unmuted Podcast with our amazing host and author, Recia Kabbah. In a noisy world, we cut through the chatter, amplifying important voices. Are you ready for raw, unscripted stories that shape our daily lives? Well, on Unmuted, we tackle tough topics, challenge the norms, and share untold stories. Each episode, we bring in thought leaders, influencers, and everyday heroes for genuine conversations. It's not just a podcast. It's a platform for real, raw, expressive conversations. Get ready for the emotions, laughters, and most of all, the truth. Unmuted is more than just a show. It's a movement. So join us as we break the silence to embrace the power of honest dialogue. Welcome to Unmuted, where conversations are real.
Hello, guys. Welcome to Unmuted. This is our season 2, episode 1. I am excited to be back to engage with you all. So, welcome to Unmuted Podcast. I am your host, Recia Kabbah. Today, I have with me two, not just one, but two beautiful ladies who are about to share with you some of their struggles from our episode, marriage, and all of that. So, welcome to our season 2. It is going down right here. We are a little late. We're supposed to come on 9 o'clock, but technical issues. So, please bear with us. But we are here now. I'm going to bring on my first guest, Tanisha Smith. Hey, girl.
Yay!
Welcome. Tanisha is the boss and CEO. She is the CEO of I Create Magazine. And she will tell you a little more about herself. As you can see, she's having some time settling, but this is live, so it is all good. Go ahead and introduce yourself a little bit to our audience, girl.
Okay, so hello everybody. My name is Talisha. I'm trying to catch the light right. Trying to catch the light correctly. There we go. Hold on. Here we are. Sorry. So, there we go. All right. So my name is Talisha, and I do own I Create Magazine, which is a magazine that connects businesses with creators. And what it also does is it opens up a space for creators to be able to be exposed in the niche that they work in. And it also opens up a space for them to be able to express their self and kind of show the way that they're going. So like, if you, for instance, if you sell products like jewelry, we'll say, it gives you a space to be able to show your business as well as like your marketing strategy as a creator.
Yes. Okay. So that is my sister Tanisha. I will bring on my boss. She's the boss lady. So, hey, it's always fun introducing my boss. This woman has so much going on, I cannot remember. So she is the boss CEO. She is the creator of Inner Star Trailblazer Awards. She is no one other than my beautiful sister, Jason Hecklam.
Hello. How you doing, sis?
Well, I am good. Thank you for being here.
Thank you for having me. I know I was like, due to emergencies and I'm stuck in the car, but it's okay.
Yes,
We don't make excuses. We gonna do it.
This is a car episode, guys.
Yes, exactly.
So please tell the people just a little bit about yourself, and then we can go on to our topic.
Absolutely. My name is Jacinth Headlam. I'm an actor, author, film producer. I work on air at QVC Live Home Shopping Network television, and I am the CEO and founder of the Inner Star and Inner Star Trailblazer Awards.
Okay, there you go, guys. I told you she do a lot. These two ladies are bosses of their own. They do so much in the community, and so I am so happy to have you here today, my beautiful sisters. Tanisha, you want to put your phone down a little bit because we can see your whole face. On today's episode, I wanted to discuss the issues of divorce.
Yeah.
And the three of us here has had our own experiences.
Mm-hmm.
And what's really exciting about this is that we are all in three different phases. We have all been married and went through divorce, but my sister Justine has been through her divorce for years now. And for me, I'm like the newbie, I'm just coming out of it.
Yeah.
So that's a different experience for me. And then Tanisha um, is still going through her divorce. And that's what makes this exciting, because we can all talk about divorce on three different aspects, you know. And I am so excited to hear you guys' own experiences plus mine. Together, we can all heal. Together, we can spread awareness, and other people can be inspired by us telling our own stories to understand that they are not alone. You are not alone. This too
Yeah.
to anyone. It is not a thing to be ashamed of. You know,
Right. Right.
so yes, I have some more questions for you. So I was any of you ladies can take on to this, but I think Jesse can go first. So can you share some of your experiences from going through the divorce, and how were you able to overcome them? You know.
Right. Well, going through my divorce, I think in that time and in that space, I needed to be around my strong community. I needed to be around family. If it wasn't for me going to be and getting re-nurtured by my loved one, being around my mother, my grandmother, being around love, because in that moment where you're going through a divorce, you feel so isolated, you feel so alone, you don't know who to trust, you don't know who to vent to, you don't know who to be vulnerable with. And it's one of the darkest point in my life, because when you plan for forever and that doesn't happen, there's kids involved, asset involved, your whole being is tied up and tangled up in life with this person. And when that is done and it's feel like the rug is snatched from under your feet, it's like, how do I start over? Where do I go? How do I begin?
Mm-hmm.
Who am I outside of this relationship as a wife? Who am I outside of this relationship as a mother? And for me, it was an identity shock, because I have to now reinvent myself as a single mother. And nothing wrong, but I just have so much respect now for single moms and single parent,
Mm-hmm.
because um I was always married for so many years with my kids. So not having my kids all the time, not having my kids on certain holidays, or going a whole week without seeing my kids. For me, that was the depressing time, where there were time I didn't think life was worth living anymore. So, like, because my world was my kids. So
Mm-hmm.
who am I outside of that without them? So, um, I needed support. I needed to be around family. I needed to be around my mama's cooking. I needed to be around my grandmother, who can pray over me and anoint my head with oil. And because in that time when you're broken, sometimes you don't know how to do it for yourself. And it's not like
Mm-hmm.
I don't know how to call on God. It's not like I don't know how to pray for myself. But in that moment where you're so broken, the enemy trick you to believe in that this is it.
Yeah.
The enemy trick you to believe in that you are, yes, I am defeated. Yes, I am my doubts and my fear and all these things that will creep up in your mind when you feel like you're defeated, when you feel hurt. So yeah, I would definitely say I needed to be around a strong support system for sure. My family, my mom, my grandmother.
Yeah, of course. That is very important. You are right. Because listen, being by yourself will just send you in a whole different place called depression. And depression, we know what that will lead you into,
Hmm.
more trouble. And so having family and supportive people around you in those moments is very important. Um,
Yeah.
to elaborate a little bit on that, for me, I did not do that. And it wasn't because of my family fault. It's not like they knew,
Hmm.
because I was
Yeah.
trying to keep everything on a cover. I was trying to just keep everything settled,
Hmm.
because I was still trying to even believe if it was
Hmm.
happening. I was
Right.
trying to,
Right.
to receive it myself, because I had no I didn't know what to say to anybody.
Right.
I could not answer any one question. So how can I tell my people I'm not going through divorce 3 years later after they just had this happy moment with me, great celebration, and I'm going through divorce for something I don't even I can't grasp that. I can't put words
You
together.
comprehend, right.
Yeah, I can't even comprehend. So for that reason, I stayed silent and I stayed by myself and I cried by myself and the only person I turned to, even though that was the best place to turn, was to God. But sometimes we need a human affection. We need that human body,
Mm-hmm.
that person to reassure you that everything will be okay. And so I really tell people now, don't do that to yourself because it wasn't a good place for me.
Mm-hmm.
It caused me darkness, it caused me bad thoughts,
And I think
I
as
wanted to do
women,
bad things.
I think as women, we have to start to know how to learn how to identify when our friend is in that dark place.
Hmm.
We have to start looking for those signs and being taught and doing our own research to say, okay, these are signs that my friend may or may not be going through something serious than she's saying. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but so just yeah, what you just said is true. But let me tell you this: for me, I can't say I carry it so well. I can't really blame anyone that did not notice
Of
anything
course.
because
Of
I
course.
walk out looking the same every day. I walk out with my
Mhm.
face, with my makeup
Yes.
on, with my, the same
Right.
Recia. I was smiling, but I was hurting inside. I
Hmm.
was dying inside, but no one could tell. Girl, I did not miss one day from work because I think at that time I needed work more than ever.
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah, I needed to go to be with my clients and thank God take care of people in need.
Mhm.
So when I went there, I talked to them and I saw their condition and I was grateful that I was even alive and walking.
Yes. Yes.
So it
And
helped me. It helped me a lot to say, you know what, this person is laying here. They can't even talk. They can't even walk. They don't have a way of taking food to eat. And you have all of that, So those things really help me out.
yeah.
You have all of that. So you have something to be grateful for. And so we have to find things that will make us forget about our problems sometime. Every time I
Yeah.
got ready to come home, then reality set in, then I started to
Yeah.
remember, oh no, hell no, you're not happy. You just
Right.
pretending.
Right.
You going back to your world now. When I open those doors and I enter, oh, I was bawling. Okay. I was,
Yeah.
yes. So anyway, but yeah, so for me, that's what happened. I did not tell anyone till and my family did not like that, because when they called me, I was fine. I didn't show
Mm-hmm.
no nothing. He wasn't telling anybody anything. So we both were just going through it on our own, you know. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, like she
Because
said,
there's
it's good to
definitely
have
a
family
difference.
around you and stuff like that. So that's good. I have something for you, Tanisha. So this
Okay.
question is really for Tanisha, as someone who is experiencing divorce right now.
Yeah.
First of all, I want to say thank you because no one could pay me $1 million to come on no podcast to talk about my situation when I was going through it. Mhm.
Yeah.
No one could do that. No one. But for you to have that guts, this is why I mentioned earlier we are all in three different phases because
Yes.
we would be so interested hearing your experience that is going on right now. So tell us
Right.
about that. Well, how is it for you? And we're here for you. We are your sisters. When you ever need us, we are here. You
Oh,
know, virtual hug, but
thank you.
I'll give you hug
Yes.
anytime I see you.
Thank you.
But yeah, the
Yes.
floor is yours.
Yes. Yes. So, thank you. So, just a little background. I've been married for 10 years. My ex-husband and I were youth pastors in our church, very, very, very much in love, not anything that was like fake or any issues in the beginning that would have thought that we would have ended up the way that we did. And then abruptly, I just noticed different stuff and different things were coming up. And so we ended up going to counseling about the cheating. And well, I would find messages, and to me, a message is just too much. That's just the type of person I am. If there's a message, that's just too much for me. So, because that already means that you're at a mindset that I'm not okay with. So I after the messages, like I said, we went to counseling through our church, through our pastor, and things were going pretty good. I was just doing, trusting God and doing everything, but I wasn't doing the therapeutic work that comes with, there's a trauma that comes with being cheated on that I wasn't aware of at the time. And so we just continue to, serve God and work on our marriage. But there was internal damage that was going on with me. And so I wasn't really able to move forward from the cheating as much as I wanted to, as much as I thought that was the thing to do. And then I had to rethink my whole life. Like, is this really what you want? Because, whenever you have to question your reality, it's kind of like, what do I want if this is supposed to be where I'm peaceful and not like a little bit, like a lot in a long period of time. So it's just like, I wasn't seeing a change. And of course, I can take full responsibility for me not changing as well either. But I just decided, you know what? I don't know if this is working. And I think we both got to a place where one day he just told me, I don't think this is working. I was at work. I'll never forget. And I just felt like, even though it was bad, it still felt like sick to my stomach, because you still feel like, God's going to get us through this. And you know what I mean? This is still my forever. And I just think about, when we're old and gray together, like laughing about these times. And whenever he told me that, like, I still felt like I got hit with a ton of bricks in my face. But at the same time, it was just kind of like a relief. So, all I can say is like, okay, it got really vicious, and it is still vicious. So I'm not even going to go down the vicious road, because I don't even have the brain power to entertain that pettiness. But all I can say is I've learned so much about myself. And one thing that I'll say is, one thing that I learned about God is, if you don't get the lesson, you're going to keep having the same kind of homework. So until you learn what you need to learn from that lesson, you're going to keep going through that lesson. So I looked at this situation and I got over myself. And actually, he said that to me one day. He said, get over yourself. And I really took that to heart. And I thought long, deep, and hard about it. And I said, you know what? Let me get over myself. You're absolutely right. And what I say when I say about like the friends learning how to support, it's something that I wanted to learn. But anyway, I wanted to learn how to identify my friends that were not acting, because you are okay in those moments. So let's not act like it's a mask, because no, in those moments, your mind isn't in that dark place. So you are okay. But sometimes in those moments when you're by yourself and you're thinking, or like you're reminiscing, I was out the other day and like I saw a family and like they had 3 boys, and I was like, oh my God, that used to be us. You know what I mean? But I'm also grateful to God that I got to experience that type of life, because it's a beautiful life. So I was really excited that I got to experience it, but however, that's not my life anymore. But I was excited to experience that, and I was grateful to God. But I just wanted to learn, like, from that experience. I was the same as you, Recia. I was like, nobody could know, but grateful to God that God sent sisters. You don't even know. As I was going through my divorce, the first day that I found out that he asked me for a divorce, we did a podcast and we had Jacinth on. And I remember I was sitting on the bathroom floor and it was time to do the podcast. And I was literally contemplating suicide, because the amount of rejection that I felt in that moment was overwhelming. And I wasn't sure about how to process all that rejection.
I remember.
And so, but I was on the bathroom floor, and you couldn't tell. I would put my phone down for a moment. I would be wiping my face, and I was just kept talking, but engaging in that. What God was saying to me through you guys was, you have a bigger purpose, and it's time to focus on that purpose. You have a bigger purpose, and it's time to focus on that purpose. So I had to disconnect from my feelings, and I had to go and focus more on what needed to get done. And so in those moments, now again, I wasn't 100% okay, but I was okay in that moment. But that, and so then 2 weeks later, Jacinth ends up having a movie. She calls me one night, do you mind if I'm transparent? She calls me one night, Jacinth.
Mm-hmm.
She had called me, we were praying, and she was saying, she needed 2 people for this movie, and can't talk. Yeah, so she said she needed 2 people for this movie, and some kind of way I ended up getting on the movie. And I know it was only God. It was only God.
Mm-hmm.
And she was like, no, I know you can do this. And I was just like, okay, again, at one of the most depressing times of my life where I didn't even want to get out of bed. And this for 2 weeks straight caused me to get out of bed every day, get up and hustle, get dressed, do my hair. You know what I mean? And so honestly, that time literally like saved my life, and it also showed me like the potential. She had me like, this was, first of all, we were shooting a production.
Her first time on production.
Movie stars. I
Wow.
got to see Jacinth like transform and be in her craft. Do you know how inspiring that was? Like, I didn't have time to think about a divorce. I was like, I'm over here with stars. Like, I'm going places, So it was so inspiring. And then to think that, this woman has so many connections and she thought of me, it definitely gave, like, she saw me, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so that allowed me, kind of like what you said earlier, Recia, to pivot from being consumed with what I was going through and my emotions to being able to focus on a new business venture, something I've never done. And then I'm also like to be the best. So if I'm going to do something, I want to be the best at it. That's just me.
That's
so I was like learning the role, and really having a feel for it. And again, if my friend, pulls me in on a project, I want to go above and beyond for her or him, whoever. You know what I mean? It's not like, oh, it's my friend, so I'm going to slack. No, it's my friend, so we're going to do everything plus. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So that's
and
how
I love
look
that.
at it. But that helped me, again, with my divorce. So it actually goes back to everything, having the right village around you. Nobody had any idea what exactly I was going through, because like I said, I was on a full podcast, camera on and all. You couldn't tell I was crying.
Yeah.
Oh, wow. Yeah. So what you just said took me back to my let me just elaborate a little bit on that for my own experience. So God is amazing. God is amazing because he knows just when to bring something into our life to distract us from the things that we are experiencing. I said this before. The very day I got served with my divorce paper was the day I was leaving. I had like a 40 minutes left for me to get on the road to come for the Lehigh Valley Fashion Week in 2022. The fashion week that Siri had that day. My bags are packed. I took a shower. I'm sitting there. I'm just waiting because I was a little bit early. So I said, all right, let me rest a little bit. And I got the ring on my door, and I was served with a divorce paper. When I opened that paper, when I saw divorce, the first thing I did was I sat down. Something said, you can't go nowhere. And then something said, I heard a voice say, no, you're not. You are going. Because the devil is a lie. You cannot not go. Because what was I going to do that day? Sit here and cry my ass off and feel bad for myself and feel sorry for myself. And I got on that road and I came. You had to know me to know that something was going on with me. Everything else that was going on around me was distracting me from my problem. It was later on when Jai said she just knew something was wrong with me because I did not look the same. But she didn't say anything because she could not, grasp at what it was. But nobody in there knew what I was going through. So everything went smooth because I had nothing to remind me of what I left home. I had to block everything in that moment, and I had to come there and I had to do makeup and I had to get dressed and I had to walk the walk and, and just be normal and afraid for the event because that was a 3-day event. Yeah. And all I could think of this is going to come to an end. I'm going to have to go back home. I'm going to have to face my reality. Okay, this new reality that I don't want happen. Like you said earlier, I was in denial. I thought that maybe this person was just pulling my legs. Maybe he just doing this just to see my reaction. But no, it wasn't that. So each day that I woke up, I had something else to remind me this is real. You have now entered a new phase in your life. You have to accept this, and you have to now figure out how to pick up the pieces and rebuild yourself again, because it's not the first time. The other time wasn't divorce because I wasn't married to nobody else, but this right here is still the same because it's like starting over again. And it's even worse because now I have invested so much. Now I have to fight on property. Now I have to make sure I'm being okay. Me and my children are being okay. So it was just a lot. So
Yeah.
divorce is something like, I said divorce is worse than death. People say divorce is like death. It's true, but I think it's worse than death because when someone dies, they're gone. They can't do nothing to you no more,
Oh
right?
my gosh. Yes.
But when you
You're
are going
supposed,
through
you still gotta
divorce,
see
this
them.
person can literally just make your life hell every single day.
Yeah.
So you are going through that grief of them not being there, but you are being reminded of them every day because they are doing something, whether it's legal or just being manipulative and just looking for ways to hurt you. So it's like a whole nother level. You are grieving your divorce, your marriage, and then you are grieving other stuff. And so I don't wish on nobody. It puts me in a place where I don't even know if I want to get married again because I'm afraid of that situation that I went through, the
Yeah.
feeling that I had. And that's why it's good for us to talk about these things, because it's not just you, it's not just me, it's not just saying. A lot of women are going through these things, and we need to talk about it because we can learn from one another experiences. So thank you so much for sharing that with us. Jason, you have anything to add to this, or we can move on?
Well,
Jason?
you might be covering your microphone, or you might
Oh
be on mute.
no, no,
There we go.
sorry, I did. I'm just unmuted. No, I said she left no crumb. I don't have any. Like, I just,
Yeah.
I just love everything she said, and that journey of depression and just feeling like it's life worth living anymore. Because in your mind, your identity was to being with this person as a wife and as a mom for the rest of your life, until, like the Bible said, death do us part. So when you are going through a divorce and you can't make sense of it, you're like, how did I get here? What is going on? What's happening? I think that's the scary part, is not being able to fathom what is the reality. Like, did this just happen? Is this the season that I'm in? God, how and why? So yeah,
Yes,
no,
yes.
I'm pretty much done.
Okay, okay. I'm not, I'm gonna go through this fast. I know you guys are busy. We have some changing schedules. So looking back, right? Looking back, what advice would you give to someone starting, life after divorce? Just saying, you can go first because you've been through this already
um
longer than us.
I know it might sound cliche, but don't rush the process. I think for me, I love hard. And when I'm infatuated and I'm really into a person and it's the fireworks and it's like, you just want to be this with this person, but it's taking your time fighting those urges and taking the process in. Um Giving yourself like a good 6 months to a year to get to know a person. Now, of course, in our Christian community, you have some people that's like, when I got married in 2 months and we still together, or what, and that's great. But for me, I felt like I needed to really take the time to get to know someone, because you get caught up and you commit during the fireworks. And what happened when the fireworks fade out and reality sets in, and 6 months to a year down the line, you're like, man, I really don't like this person's spirit, or I really don't like this person's energy, or our personality and characteristics clashes. And that's okay, because not everybody's going to be your cup of tea, and not everybody's personality is going to get along with yours. But at least when it's people that you don't live with, you can kind of like, okay, let me put up with it. But when it's someone that you can't escape because y'all live together, that's the hard part.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
So I would say take your time to really date the person,
Mm-hmm.
and do premarital counseling, because there's a lot of questions and a lot of things that's going to be unlocked when you have a third party really getting down to the nitty gritty and asking those hard, difficult questions that you tiptoe around asking, because you don't want to lose that person. You don't want to turn this person off. So you avoid those questions until months later. And it's like, that's a question you should have asked from like the third or fourth date. Well, by the third date, you
Mm-hmm.
would have an idea. You should have asked these questions. And then when you do find out this information, I've done it. You ask these uncomfortable, hard questions, and the answer. You skip over it and you put a blind eye to it because you just want to have fun and still date. And then months down the line, when, like I said, reality kicks in a little bit more and you're not in the infatuation stage, then these same concerns that you skipped over is now extra relevant, and you're trying to backpedal, you're trying to fix it, you're trying to play cleanup, and it's like, well, you knew this from the jump, but
Right.
you just in the fireworks stage.
Yeah.
So having those hard conversations up front, being real with yourself, standing strong in your non-negotiables. What are those things that are major deal breaker for you? Don't slide over them because you're having fun and you're infatuated and it's the fireworks and you want to play it by ear. Let's see where it goes. Let's not. We
Because
don't
you
have
know
time.
what's
Now,
going.
if you're in your 20s in college and you have time and you want to date to get to know, hey, what kind of woman or guy do I want to be with? What kind of personality do I want to be? Like, those are the time when you really want to, do interviews, date, have a healthy dating life, and so you can know what you like, what you don't like. That's through trial and error. When you have a certain age, especially when you're a mother, you got kids involved, you're dating for marriage is more intentional. So you really have to have those hard conversations up front and stand firm. No matter how fine this man might be, how accomplished he may be, he's funny, he makes you feel he makes you laugh and giddy and running circles around your head because you're on cloud nine, and he hits you with one of those hard conversation, and his reality, one of his reality is one of your non-negotiables. Oftentimes as women, we slide over it, and it's okay. Let's just see where it goes. That's when you should have
Yeah.
stepped away. I've done
Yeah.
it. I've done it in the past with someone who is unequally yoked and someone who may not have kids, and then you date, and then after the infatuation dies down, you're like, this ain't gonna work.
Mm. Mm. Yeah.
So now I'm learning, when I hear those stuff that I know is not gonna be well for me, I now can say, I don't think this is gonna work, because I know in the long run this is what I want, and as much as I really, really, really want to be with you, I know that this is gonna be a problem in the long run, because this is really important for me.
Yeah.
And that's the hard part, is walking away from a good person.
Yeah.
That's the hard
Yeah.
part. But the non-negotiables are your non-negotiables, especially when it's major stuff like religion, or someone who is a family-oriented person. Not everybody's into family like that. Some people are loners, especially if you want someone who is already a parent and they're not a parent. Those are important stuff. Lifestyle. If you have a certain lifestyle that you want to uphold, and this person doesn't really, their life doesn't match that lifestyle, that can be a struggle too.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So
And like
being
you
with
said,
someone who's equally yoked on
yeah.
all, not all levels, but your most important levels.
Yeah. Um, great points. Like you said, you have to know when to walk away. You have to know if something is not for you, instead of just settling, because settling can
Yeah,
only get you in deeper and deeper and deeper problems. So, um, um,
and it's hard.
Tanisha,
It's hard.
Anything you have to say about that? Or
Uh,
I really asked her because she's the one been divorced and
of
and
course.
you still going through it. So, but you can answer this next question. What has been your biggest takeaway from being married, Tanisha? That would be my last question for the night. So go ahead.
My biggest takeaway from being married
Mhm.
is love yourself. And this is to women who are married, women who are not married, women who are looking to get married, women who don't even care about marriage. Love yourself. And when I say love yourself, learn yourself, love yourself, and totally engulf yourself and understand what God's love is. Then you can understand love, because you can't understand, like, then whenever you have somebody in your presence, you're okay by yourself. Don't get into a marriage to not be lonely. There's a lot of people that are just in marriages to not be lonely. They don't like anything about them. But I would
That's a good
say
one.
love
Mhm.
love yourself and learn yourself, and don't forget about you. there's there's a you in everything, so don't forget about you.
Okay.
Mhm.
Okay.
Don't forget
So
about you. We
yeah,
often,
don't.
they make it seem like sometimes when you think about yourself, oh, that's conceited, that's this. But let me tell you, the person that you want to love your kids is nurturing. You can't be nurturing in a toxic situation. A person who we want to who show up loving for our man, we have to first experience that love. That love can't depend on whether he had a good day. That love can't depend on whether, you know what I mean, my kids, whether we had enough money to make it today or not. That love has to already be inside of you, and then you
Mhm.
can freely give it out.
Right.
When it depends on others, then we become like an addict, and we're looking for that attention. We're looking for that. And when we don't get it, now we're like strung out for days.
Yes.
Like, whoa, I didn't get that attention. I didn't get that, But whenever you can refill yourself because you love yourself. And of course, I'm not pulling out the God factor, because God plays a big, humongous role. He encompasses love. The love that he has for us. I love my children, but I don't know the amount of hair that they have on their head, but God knows the amount that I have on,
Mhm.
you know?
Amen. Amen.
So,
That part.
but I just want to say it's okay to explore yourself. It's okay to have a feeling that might not line up with everybody else's. Like, hey, you know what? I actually don't really like that my husband goes golfing every Wednesday with everybody else. Let me, sometimes it's like, oh, I'm just going to be quiet about it. But explore that feeling. Explore it within yourself first. Like, you know what I mean? Why don't I like it? Is this just me being dramatic because of my trauma? Or is
Mhm.
this because I feel something? You know what I mean? And I'm
Mhm.
just saying, golfing on Wednesday, it could be anything. It could be, a green shirt that he wears that doesn't resonate with you,
No, yes.
but things like that.
Okay. All right. Um, I'm just gonna take maybe 2 minutes to do this. I'm gonna let Jason go for a few minutes. We let her go because I know she's at an event, and I so appreciate you, girl. You making all the sacrifice you can do. I want you to go have fun. Um, just to piggyback on what she just said, she took all the words out of my mouth. She said everything. One of my biggest take, from being married, is that, like you said, loving yourself, but not losing yourself. I feel like at some point I lose myself in my marriage because I wanted that. I wanted to be that humble wife. I wanted to be that respectful wife and that caring wife and the wife
Mm-hmm.
that listens, right? So everything I was doing before this person, they tried to minimize all of that. You can't do this, you can't do that, you can't do this, you can't do that. I want you to do that. It was, I want this, I want this. At the time, I did not see it as controlling. I saw it as, this is your husband, right? You're supposed to be able to meet him halfway. But I did not realize that all those minimizing I was doing on my own life was one day going to affect me because now I'm dependent on this person. Not only financially, I'm dependent on them emotionally because I need them to show up for me to be happy. Because now the independent woman I wasn't that 100% no more because I was a single mother. I work and I have my life in a certain place. But now I can't just do that. I have to look over and be like, can you do this? Can you do that? And that's the place this person had me. This person wanted to put me so that they can have full control. As though if today I tell you I don't want to be with you, you're going to be crushed. You're going to be done. And that's why I became muted because I could not understand, why would you put me here to leave me? You know, why would you put me here in a place where you now know 100% that I can't make it without you? That's when you walk out. Just when all of that settled, when you knew that, yes, now I got her where she needs to be. I don't know if it was a plan or not, but that's how it was. So now I had to start all over. So one of my big take from this, whether I get into a relationship or decide to get married, the point is I have to always remember to not lose myself, stay who I am, and whoever comes in my life has to love me for me and love me with everything else that it met me with. If my life intimidates you, then you don't need to be in my life, right? If what I'm becoming or what I am is something that is going to bother you, because sometimes the people that we are with are get a little jealous. We are human beings. Your partner can be jealous of you, and jealousy comes in many different forms. It don't have to be a jealousy where they want to see you bad stuff happen to you, but it just that maybe sometimes you shine, or it's just different stuff, and they want to get you on a level where they can feel comfortable. They can feel comfortable. So I think that was one of my problems. So remembering that I don't need to lower myself just to make somebody comfortable. If you have to downgrade yourself or whatever it is to just minimize your life or minimize your look or how you dress or your finances or your career just to make somebody comfortable, it's not a good thing, because whoever comes in your life is supposed to love you and accept you for who you are and embrace everything that comes with that. And if it's a success, they should be your number one fan. They should not be looking for a way to minimize you just so they can feel comfortable. The same goes to friendship or anybody, family. If someone is uncomfortable being around your happy or your success, then maybe they don't need to be there. So that's one of my takeaways. So I'm grateful for that lesson, because now I know, because I did not know that before. So yeah, just saying, anything you have to say about that?
No, you said it all. You said it all. Thank you so much for having me on. I'm truly, truly grateful. Just love yourself, trust yourself in a process. Don't shine out. When you love yourself, you put yourself first before
Mhm.
somebody's feelings, before someone else's. You have to know yourself, love yourself, and be true to your identity and what your happiness and what brings you peace. If it's gonna cost you your peace, run far. Don't pass, go and collect 200. Just run all the way out of Dodge. And that's one thing I had to learn. I've stayed in things that compromise my peace for the sake of, but I love him, for the sake of, it'll work it out. I prayed about it. God's gonna do it. God's gonna do a new thing. If you see in pattern, trust the pattern. If somebody look like a dog and quack like a duck, they are a dog
It's
and
a
a duck.
duck.
As a dog.
So you have to be smart and wise. You have to use discernment. Take your feelings out of it. Forget your feelings. You have to
Yes.
be realistic. You have to be logical, and you have to look at relationship. I'm sorry, but it is a form of business. You're
Right.
not just going to sign up and invest with any and anybody. This is your life. Your business is your life. Your life is your legacy, and you have to look at it with a business eye as well. Take your hormones out of it, take your feelings and the emotions out of it. Can I build an empire with this person? Can I trust this person? Can this person be my best friend? Because no matter how much I don't like my best friend, I would never hurt my best friend, because there's a certain love that I have for my best friend.
Right.
We might not get along, and it's the same thing for your partner. You have
Yes.
to have that certain level of like and love and trust and admiration for your partner if you're going to do life with this person.
Right.
But thank you so much for having me.
Oh, thank you so much, girl. You have given me a whole hour. You can be out there, enjoying yourself. So thank you for being on here. I will excuse you and then we can end
Thank
it,
you.
with
Bye.
but
Nice
thank
to
you
see
so
you.
much, Alicia. Thank you for having you. Thank you so much to be in this space right now and still being able to share your story. I appreciate you. And the door is open. This is just our first episode, and it's surrounded by divorce. And I think that I would love to have you back because we will be having more discussion on divorce. And you are perfect because you are still going through it. And I meet women all day, every day that are going through divorce. And I have someone who's going to be coming on the show pretty soon. I think I will have them probably if they can make it next week or the week after, and I will let you know. And we would love to have you back, girl,
Oh yeah,
because
I would love to be back. Just let
yes,
me know when you would like me.
talking about it is good for the soul. Talking about it is good for the soul. And like I said earlier, you have a sister friend in me. I am here anytime you want to talk. We are here. We will love on you, girl. And I pray for the best. Pray for the best. You are not alone. Love you and thank you for being
Love
here.
you. Thank you for having me,
You're
my
welcome.
sister. It's an amazing show. Thank you so much for having me, and have a wonderful day.
Same as well. See you. Bye bye.
Bye.
Okay, guys, thank you so much for tuning in tonight. We are done. These ladies was great. They share their experiences. Like I said earlier on my live, this is not a show where we claim to be professionals. We are just giving you our own experiences that we had, different stages of our marriage, divorce, whatever the situation was. And we are just here to share awareness and help other women that would love to talk about their situation, whatever they are going through. We're gonna have a part 2 of the divorce episode, so look out for us. We are on YouTube all day, every day. Look us up. Let's get Unmuted Podcast. Subscribe to our YouTube channel because we'll not be going live on Facebook. We'll be going live on YouTube. So you have to go on YouTube to tune in with us and be able to watch with us, connect with us, interact with us while we are live. We can answer your questions. Thank you. Thank you again. I am your host, Recia Kabbah. This is Unmuted Podcast. Good night, everyone.